Did you ever think owning real estate free and clear could still be a huge monthly commitment? I mean, as you may know, Florida's condo market has been shaky, but now it's in a free fall, and I'm not exaggerating. And if you think that you got a steal, maybe you bought with cash and you did get that great deal and you think you're safe, you may just want to think again. And today, I'm going to break down why condo prices are collapsing and won't recover anytime soon in Florida. Also, how the HOA fees and insurance hikes are making condos nearly unsellable, and why even a free and clear condo can still feel like a financial trap. And I'll show you why some buyers, even investors, are running for the hills. So before you think about buying a Florida condo, or before you decide to sell, watch this video first. Now let's start with the numbers. Florida condo prices have dropped as much as 6% in the past year in some areas. And Redfin even says that the median sale prices for condos rose 5.4% year over year on average in January, while the condo sales on Florida's Gulf Coast saw a drop of 4.8%, and condos on the Atlantic coast dropped 3%. Condo sales in Florida also have dropped 10.5% in 2024, the lowest in 15 years, and inventory has surged 50%, meaning way more sellers than buyers. And right now, Florida has 8+ months of condo supply just sitting on the market. And that's bad news if you're selling due to all that other competition. But even if you're buying, you need to be extremely careful because some of these condos are turning into huge financial nightmares. So here's what a lot of people don't think about when buying a condo. That's the HOA fees and assessments. And even if you pay cash, meaning that you don't have a mortgage, your HOA fees can still cost you as much as a mortgage payment right now. Let me give you an example. I was looking around and here's a condo for sale in Miami Beach at 1.1 million in February of 2024, and now it has been reduced to 299,000 in February 2025. Now that sounds like a huge deal, right? Well, it's been on for over 245 days. And take note of this, the HOA fee is an astounding $1,600 a month. Now let's do some quick math on this. If you had that property over 20 years, you would pay nearly $200,000 in HOA fees alone. That's almost as much as the purchase price. And the HOA fees, they usually go up, and if the building has deferred maintenance, or if they need to comply with the new regulations, guess who pays for that? You do. Now let's talk about why these fees are going through the roof right now. Now, after the Surfside condo collapse in 2021, where 98 people unfortunately lost their lives, condos are not allowed any longer to defer any major structural improvements for any additional days. In fact, Florida passed what was called Senate Bill 4D, which requires buildings that are 30+ years old or 25 years if near to the coast to undergo major inspections and also have a new reserve fund requirement for big repairs and no more kicking that can down the road. Now this sounds good, right? Well, here's the problem. Many condos, they just don't have that money to cover these repairs. So what happens? You get what's called special assessments. Some Florida condo owners right now are getting hit with a surprising $50,000 to $350,000 for expenses against those complexes. Now imagine retiring thinking your condo was affordable, and suddenly you're forced to pay $100,000+ just to stay there. Here are some other notable assessment increases. Adventura's Mediterranean Village, a waterfront condo complex with a marina out front. Unit owners were hit with six-figure special assessments last year, some as high as $400,000, according to published reports.
According to Condo Docs, assessments in Mediterranean Village in Williams Island, where Konitz lives, are as high as $400,000.
And meanwhile, at Summit Towers in Hollywood, Florida, a building wide special assessment of $56 million dollars
They say their building had recently completed and passed their 40-year recertification.
for 56 million.
led to the ousting of 4 board members in a January election in favor of new members who are promising a more moderate approach to building up those reserves. Now, here's the worst part. If you can't pay, you have to sell, but those assessments will need to be taken care of somehow so you can sell your property. And because so many sellers are flooding the market right now, they're taking massive losses just to get out from underneath everything. And through dealing with condos through the years, this is always something to take into account anytime you are purchasing, regardless of any location in any state. Always go look at the financials and the budgets. And if you don't understand them, get an experienced real estate agent that can help you through these. And also, one other thing to note, always look at the meeting of minutes too. They can shed some serious light on potential issues that could be coming down the road on your complex. And one other thing I do suggest, if you currently own a complex, make sure you get on the board or you start paying attention to all the board meetings so you can stay ahead of anything that's coming down the road as well. And if it wasn't bad enough, due to all the repairs, here's another problem that's going on. Florida's aging condominiums are losing value, and nearly 1,400 buildings are now blacklisted from receiving mortgage financing, making those condos an even tougher sale. And if this happens, the only, and I stress the only way that you're going to be able to sell will be a cash deal, and more than likely, it will be to an investor, as there's really no resale value if you can't get financing. And when I'm working with buyers, or if I'm the buyer looking at a complex, and if it doesn't have an FHA option, I usually walk away and even tell my clients they should probably walk away, as this hurts resale value too, as it limits financing for potential buyers down the road. And to not have options is obviously a worse route to go. Now, if it wasn't bad enough, the insurance is another disaster. And here's what's happening. Insurance costs in Florida are up 6.6% overall. And in some areas like Miami-Dade, rates are up 30% year over year. In condos with flat roofs, just forget about it. I've heard where some owners have seen their rates quadruple, like a 400% increase. Any Floridans could lose their insurance, compelling associations to implement steep special assessments that will hit seniors, retirees, and low-income residents the hardest. And insurance companies don't want to cover these older buildings either. There's just too much risk, too much liability. And some insurers are pulling out of Florida entirely. And if you own a condo in a building with a flat roof, like I said earlier, guess what? You're going to be paying more even if you cannot get that coverage. Now, buyers out there are really losing confidence. And because of all these problems, sky-high HOA fees, insane insurance rates, and special assessments, buyers are just getting scared. I mean, take Sunrise, Florida, for example. 500 condos are for sale right now. In Palm Beach and Miami-Dade counties, over 16,000 condos are just sitting on the market. Many have been listed for months with 0 offers. And the result? Sellers are just taking massive losses right now. People who thought they could sell for a good price are now accepting those lowball offers just to escape these ongoing costs going on right now. And there are roughly 1.1 million condo units in Florida that are 30 years old or more, and they're subject to the new law according to the Florida Policy Project. And of those, 58% are concentrated along the southwest and the southeast coastal counties in places like Tampa, Clearwater, and the greater Miami metro area, including Fort Lauderdale and Palm Beach County. Yet, even as thousands of newcomers come to the state, these abundant and discounted units are languishing on the market, weighed down by the threat of special assessments and uncertainty over looming repair costs. And obviously, the fear of the unknown is scaring all these potential buyers away. And this is opening things up for investor opportunities. Now, investors are buying, but not like you would think. Now, you might be thinking, if condo prices are crashing, shouldn't investors be swooping in to buy? Well, yes, but they're not buying to live in those. So they have a way different strategy. Investors are targeting those old condos in those prime locations, but not for long-term rental income. They're actually trying to buy entire buildings, knock them down, and then rebuild with luxury high-rises. So for regular buyers, this means you're competing against these developers with deep pockets. And if you think you're getting a deal on an older condo, you might be just buying a property that's about to become a teardown. And again, if you're a buyer and not an investor, then you and your agent should dig into how many units an investor owns, or just by the number of units for sale. And that may be a sign you should expect this too, that it could be just a teardown. Either way, if you're worried, do your homework to assure that you are not getting into a complex that might be a teardown. So should you buy a Florida condo right now? Well, here's my take on it. If you find a condo at a huge discount, just run the numbers carefully and take in those HOA fees that will include the insurance in there, and make sure you do dig on insurance so you can see if that complex is covered or not by their policies, or if they're in the process of having to obtain a higher insurance policy on that complex. And also look at those assessments, because all of this at the end of the day could still make that great discount a huge money pit. There is upside though. Those assessments could just be temporary, and once they're completed, they will adjust themselves down over time, but thorough research on this will tell you what to expect. And if you're thinking of selling, or you need to sell, you better do it now before prices drop even further. Price your place aggressively and get a good agent that knows how to work with this type of issue and has a good strategy. And by the way, if you need a good agent in your area, my contact links down below, hit me up. I can set you up with someone. And also, if you're holding, just know what's coming. Understand those special assessments and insurance hikes aren't slowing down anytime soon. And also, make sure you stay informed by being a part of your HOA meetings, and just know what things are coming so you can be prepared. Florida's condo market is in major trouble. Prices are falling, insurance is out of control, and the HOA fees are turning condos into money pits. So before you buy, just do your research. And if you're thinking of selling, like I said, now might be your best chance. Either way, let me know your comments. Have you seen your HOA fees jump? And not just in Florida, but let me know elsewhere if you're experiencing this. And also, have you been hit with a new special assessment? I'd love to hear your experiences. And also, if you found this video helpful, please share this with somebody that you think could benefit from it. And also, stay tuned for this video that's coming up next, and we'll see you next time.